Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Super Saturday ILCA overview and special public crypto talk. My name is your Queen Connectress, Miss Marnita Casa, and I am your humble hostess for today. Now, there is something that I always like to say, and that is we totally understand there are so many different things you can be doing with your time. My goodness, it's a chilly Saturday morning. So the fact that you guys decided to come on out and hear what we have to say, please believe that makes us so very happy. So again, thank each and every one of you for being here. Family, this is the second to the last public crypto talk that we will be doing before the first of the year. And if you have not already signed up to be an ILCA member, I'm talking to those of you on Facebook. You need to do that right now. Why? Because ILCA is coming out with so much more value than we've ever had before, from passive income opportunities to building generational wealth, to phenomenal memberships, to groups and different educational sessions. So right now is the time for you to get on board with ILCA because we are moving like a freight train and we are not slowing down. And to all of you people that are here on the VIP Zoom call with us. Hello, all my lovely people. It is always good to see you and feel that wonderful energy you guys are bringing. Please, as you come onto the Zoom call, type your name and where you are from in the chat box. That way I get a chance to tell the world who is here on the Zoom call with us. And if you have the opportunity, please turn on your cameras. One of the best parts about us being able to join us on a Zoom call is that we get a chance to see all your faces and all those wonderful smiles. So I'm going to go ahead and start saying hello to everybody. But before I do, I want to give a special shout out to Miss Amy Hazel. I actually had the opportunity to talk to her yesterday. She is only 2 courses away from becoming ILCA certified. So I want to go ahead and give a round of applause to Miss Amy Hazel. Not only is she in the process of becoming ILCA certified, but she is also killing it in our River of Money group. So Miss Amy Hazel, keep up the good work. We love to see it. All right, you guys, let me go ahead and start saying hello to everybody. First up is the beautiful Miss Catherine Clement. Hello, baby. How are you? Thank you so very much for being here. It is always, yes, we will have some new music coming out for Miss Amy Hazel. I'm so proud of her. Miss Catherine Clement, thank you so very much for being here. It is always good to see you, Queen, and thank you so much for what you're doing for our community. Miss Catherine Clement is also ILCA certified. I see Miss Samantha Studebaker is here with us today. Hello, Samantha. How are you? Samantha is another one of our certified students. But let me tell you, Samantha, there she is. Hi, baby. How are you? Samantha did something really, really awesome for our community. She actually introduced us to a crypto tax professional. Hello. We have been looking for one of those and needing one of those for a couple of years now. So Miss Samantha, mwah, thank you, baby. We truly appreciate everything that you do for us. I see we also have Mr. Kenny Taylor. Hello, King. How are you? He is representing Los Angeles, California. Mr. Kenny Taylor is also ILCA certified. Get with it. I see you, Stan T. Hey, baby. You've been with us long enough, sir. I need you to be ILCA certified. You already know what I'm talking about. Yes, sir. It's always good to see you, baby. I see Clairvaux Albert is here. Hello, Clairvaux. How are you, my friend? It's always good to see you. Clairvaux is representing Connecticut. Of course, the beautiful Miss Sandy Lynn is in the house. Hello, Queen. How are you? I don't know if you guys know, but Miss Sandy Lynn had an integral part in helping us put on our Chicago event that went off flawlessly. So, Miss Sandy Lynn, thank you so much for everything that you do for our community. Is always good to see you. I see my friend Elton is in the house. Hello, sweetheart. How are you? It's always good to see you. Of course, Rita B is here representing San Diego, California. There he is. Hi, Elton. I was able to visit with Elton for a little bit. It is always good to talk to you, sir. And it's always good to see you. Mwah. I see Janelle Appling is here and she's representing Colorado. Hello, Queen. How are you? Rita B representing San Diego. And of course, CJ Jackson is in the house. CJ Jackson is another one of our certified students, and he is also part of our ILCA roundtable. So, Mr. CJ Jackson, thank you for everything that you're doing for us. And let me tell you something. Catherine Clement, CJ Jackson, Samantha Studebaker, and Kenny Taylor are in the background behind the scenes putting together some phenomenal things for our ILCA members. So thank you for all of them. Yes, we do. We have a room full of A players. Hello. I love that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the party started and get down to the nitty gritty. I see you, CJ, represent Arizona. Boom, 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 boom. Yes, sir. I love it. Okay, you guys, let's get down to the nitty gritty because we're at the top of the hour. So, again, thank each and every one of you for joining us on our Super Saturday, our Super Sensational Saturday, ILCA overview and public crypto talk. My name is your Queen Connectress, Miss Marnita Casa, and I am your humble hostess for today. Now, it is my honor to introduce you all to a man that for over 25 years dominated the direct sales industry. His cryptocurrency education is used by companies and universities worldwide. Now, for over 9 years, he dedicated his life to learning about blockchain technology and cryptocurrency, but he didn't stop there. He decided to go out and share his information with the masses. And he did this by putting on fun and exciting Bitcoin boot camps nationwide at no cost. He has built thriving communities and wonderful platforms like you see before you now. So without further ado, it is my honor to introduce you all to Mr. Brandon Ivey.
All right. Thank you for that introduction, Miss Casa, and for being ready and prepared, as you said, on a cold Saturday morning. Even though I know how cold it must be in Colorado. I don't know how you guys do that. It's cold for us here in California, and it's overcast for us today. But thank you for always being present. And as we're closing out another year, we're closing out our third full year of ILCA, and Miss Casa's been there from the beginning. We began our fourth year in business next month in January. And we have put together a lot for you guys. And Miss Costa's been working hard behind the scenes. And I especially like she just added a new section in the gold member section on our membership portal for you guys because we're moving into the coaching academy. And the coaching academy with all of my old, really old mindset trainings. One thing about Miss Costa when she first got started, she wanted to learn everything and not just what we were doing from that point forward, but she went back. I didn't tell her to do that. She went back to all of our old stuff and used that to learn. So thank you, Miss Costa, for being a consummate student for everybody and leading the way. For everybody else, welcome. Happy Saturday morning. As Miss Costa said, this is only 2 Saturdays left. This is the last presentation before Christmas. And I will be letting you guys know I have not pick the date because it's this time of year that I do a training only once a year. Huh. The December 31st is Wednesday. So yeah, we're not doing anything for that. That's New Year's Eve and New Year's Day on the first for that Thursday. So probably looking at the 28th, I will be doing a week from tomorrow. I'll be doing the secret call that I do only once a year. And speaking of that, we're going to be short today. I promise you, we're not going to keep all your time. I want you to get out there, especially for you last minute Christmas shoppers out there that need to get out and about and do what you got to do. So I want to focus on a couple of things because this is a season where people are reflecting on the past year. You know, we're coming to the end of the year. You're looking at the goals that you set at the beginning of the year. You're looking to see how close did you get to meeting it, the setbacks, the wins. I do the same thing. I'm pleased with where we've ended. Of course, I would have liked it to be even much higher, but we had much progress from the year before. And so I love that trend, and I am very, very excited about how we're positioned going into 2026, not only as a company, but as a community, and the opportunities that we're putting this available in front of our community members that want to take advantage. We had a meeting with the CEO of a big company yesterday, and he said something that's important. And sometimes I tend to forget. You know, the reason, and I learned this the hard way, but I know what people need, but what people need is not necessarily what people want. And it's two different things. And because of my experience and my training, I've learned that I can't get what I want until the need part has been met. And for me, the need is the education, the knowledge. You can't, people want to, let's be real, people want to make money. People want a better lifestyle. People want to get out of the situation that they're in right now, whether they're depressed, stagnant, or whatnot, whatever it is. You want better than what you have right now. And what people don't get is that you can't have that unless you learn the skills necessary and the habits and activity necessary to achieve that. You don't just walk onto the basketball court and start shooting threes like Steph Curry. That's what people want to do. I remember the first time I learned this lesson as a kid playing sports and basketball. First day of basketball practice. What did we want to do as kids? We wanted to run out there, pick up the ball, go to the three-point line, and start shooting threes. And the coach put us through something called conditioning. We didn't touch a basketball for 2 weeks. The first 2 weeks, all we did was run. We ran until we threw up. And that's it for 2 weeks. I'm like, when are we going to get to play ball? But we had to go through the conditioning because if we didn't get the conditioning, we wouldn't have had the energy and strength to play a full game, and the other players would outrun us off the court. Same as in everything in life. We're also coming up to where people make New Year's resolutions. And what's the top two resolutions that people make? Want to make more money and they want to lose weight. Well, let's look at the lose weight part. People get excited, they get motivated. I'm starting off a brand new year. I'm going to lose weight. I'm getting that gym membership. First 2 or 3 days, they're motivated to get up early and get into that gym. Feels good for a little bit. Fourth, fifth day comes around a week later, like, oh man, dang, I got to get up again to go to the gym. And you look yourself in the mirror and your body looks exactly the same, if not worse, than it did when you first got started. You're like, man, hey, this is hard work, but I'm gonna stick to it. You do it for a whole another week. Now your body is hurting, you're aching, muscles are sore, you're feeling more tired. You look in the mirror and you look exactly the same as you did 2 weeks ago, but you're in more pain and more hurt. You go into the third week and it is a struggle. Do you know the most depressing day of the year? It's the third Monday of January. That is the most depressing day of the year. And I'll talk more about that when we go over the secret. But it's mainly because people had started off the year with hope and desire, and they realized by the third week, man, I'm making an effort, but I'm not seeing the change in results. And I don't, is this gonna work? Do I want to keep doing this? And you start doubting yourself, and your body will automatically want to do what's comfortable. And you start to fall into the same habits that got you to where you were in the first place because it's easier. And then you realize, man, this year is not going to be any different from last year. That's the most depressing day for most people. That's when a lot of people have bad thoughts and attempt to do things that they shouldn't do to hurt themselves. So the first thing is habits. You make the decision and then you got to develop right habits. And then you've got to be put in activities that's going to make that happen. And then allow the process to take place. Well, I'll talk more about that on the secret. But what ILCA is doing, I created a project that I knew everybody needed: education in the fastest growing industry the world has ever seen, where the most amount of people on the planet are able to participate with no barrier of entry. It doesn't matter your race, your religion, your sex, your color of your skin, your educational level, your politics. None of that matters. Do you have a willingness to learn? Is the only thing that matters. The problem I ran into is that for most people, that doesn't translate to them in making money. So they want the easy way. How do I skip the education and go straight to making money? And sometimes people, it works for a short period, and then they end up losing everything. after that. How have I been able to survive so long in the crypto space? Where if you go back to when I first came in this space, 2016, all the way to now, how many crypto-based type projects are still here that have made it from 2016 or more than a year and a half to 2 years? There's only, outside of ILCA, which has gone on 4 years, there's only one that I can name. And it's not about making money, it's education. It was a company called iCoin Pro. That's where myself, James R. Davis Sr., that's where we first learned, got trained on trading in the crypto space. And they're still here. But the point of them is not making money. It is learning a skill set, education on that. So, how have I been able to survive all of the failures in the space and not only survive, but not been jaded to want to quit the space and still earn seven figures and more and still thriving? It's the education. Because when you follow the rules of what we teach, you are always going to be in a position to benefit no matter what happens with any crypto-based opportunities, projects, investments, or whatever it is that you're doing. That's the main point, longevity. That is what ILCA is going to bring to you. Now, instead of me though talking about the education side, because again, I know what people want. People want to make money. What have we done and what have we put together to put people in a position to do that? And this is what our focus into 2026 is going to be all about. It's going to be about the river of money, putting yourself in front of where money is being generated. Money never runs out. There is no scarcity of money and resources. It's just people don't know where they are. And there's not, it's not hidden. People think, well, the wealthy are hiding the information. They're hiding money and they're hoarding it. They can't hoard it. It is too big and too vast. I just made a post on Facebook this morning. I love everything about space. And as a child, the first time my dad got me a telescope and I was able to look at the moon, and then I was able to spot Saturn and see the rings from my backyard with a telescope, and understanding how big the universe is compared to how small we are. I think one of the most fascinating things to me is too where the Voyager, that's way out there, is one light day away, turned around and took a picture of Earth, and Earth was smaller than the size of a pixel. And to see that in that vastness, that the insignificance of us, the universe is so big. But I made a picture that shows the night sky, and it looks like all these stars. And you know what? Instead of me, I love being visual. Let me show this, because this is, wait, share screen, portion of the screen. This is a very, very good visual representation, and it puts things in perspective. Every single point of light, except these are stars. Every single, even these little tiny dots, is a galaxy. It's a galaxy. And in every galaxy, there are billions of stars. In every galaxy, in every single one of these little dots. And this frame is only one little sliver of the night sky, of the observable universe. So to think that there is a lack of, not enough of, any type of resource is impossible. There's a book, and we've got a community in the ILCA community that is putting together a list of book readings. The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles, that you becoming wealthy and rich does not need to happen on the competitive realm. There is enough resources for every person on this planet to be a billionaire. We just don't know that they exist, and we don't know how. We were taught that the only way to wealth is by trading time for money. Now I got to go work for somebody, and that somebody is putting a value on my worth, putting a value on my time. And that's limited when there is an unlimited source. You don't have to take from somebody else to provide for yourself. So, one of the small ways that we are preparing everybody is to how to be in a position to earn passive income where you're not trading your time for money. You don't have to recruit people to make money, and you don't have to sell a product, good, or service to make money. Our focus is on assets and products that produce an income. I did a reading this past, what day was that? Thursday, on the e-estate program. And we talked about an asset that is producing money all on its own every single day. And we're able to earn off of that production, not how many people can I recruit to build on my team. Those are the things that we are focusing on big time in 2026 and being diversified, not being in just one, but having multiple streams. Because here's a lesson that I hope nobody goes through, but you will. It's unavoidable. Not everything works. Not everything is successful. 90% of first-time businesses fail in their first year. Not everything is success. So there's going to be things that you're going to be a part of that you hope and wish that it works, and it's not going to work. So you've got to be diversified. So in case something either is not working or is not moving fast enough, you still have other sources coming in from other places. Focus on the things you can control. And it can be frustrating. It can be tiresome. You like if I look at my career, if everything I've done over the last 8 years worked 100%, I would have probably $150 million in my bank account right now. If everything worked out 100%, doesn't work that way. I just don't know when, what, where, or how. And so got to keep moving. You got to keep diversifying. So we have in ILCA multiple different opportunities to earn passive income. Our focus, my number one focus right now is real estate for 2026, real estate. The economy is going topsy-turvy. I believe in 2026 is either going to be the best financial year for many people, or it's going to be the most, you're going to have your biggest business struggling year for 2026 financially. And we want to be in a position to have the best. And how? Not by having our income focused on the economy, focused on your job. Maybe you can get a raise or not get laid off, or is there going to be higher inflation, or are we going to be a Great Depression and recession? What the government's doing. We want to be in a position where it's recession proof, that income will still be coming in no matter what. And when we think about real estate, no matter how bad things are, does your bank or whoever you're renting from say, "Oh, that's okay. I know times are hard right now. You don't have to pay rent this month"? Do your bills stop regardless of what the economy is doing, regardless of what your financial situation is? The bills don't stop. People are still paying their rent and their mortgage. That asset is still producing. That is where our focus is. Well, my focus is, and I'm allowing you guys, if you want to come along for the ride with ILCA. Tokenized real estate, tokenization in general. I said something on Thursday and I was off. Judy corrected me because when we talk about tokenization, $867 trillion market, real estate 16 trillion. Wall Street came out with a number as far as transactions. I said about 1 quadrillion is actually four. $4 quadrillion in transactions when we're talking about tokenized real world assets, not just holding an asset, but the transactions of all of those assets. 4 quadrillion. All we need is a piece. But you can't get a piece if you're not in the industry. So, right now, I am doing nothing but learning, and I'm taking you guys on the journey with me. Some of you have far more knowledge about real estate and mortgages and all that, like CJ, than I do. I'm a student. I'm learning, but I'm making money while I learn at the same time. And that's what ILCA is about. I cannot guarantee you success, but I can put you in a position to have that success. Again, based on what you do. There are going to be some people that's a part of the same opportunity that's going to make a lot of money, and another person in the same opportunity that's not going to make a lot of money. All I can do is lead you to it. What you decide to do after that is your own prerogative after that. We're also going to be focusing on you becoming a business. You're no longer an employee. You have to be a business. You have to build your own brand. So being able to have your own company, your LLC, your own EIN number, in other words. So you're operating under your EIN number and not your social security number. Creating your own business bank account. There are so many people in the network marketing space that run around. Oh, I'm self-employed. I'm a business owner. And they have all their money that they earn is going to their personal bank account. And they don't have an LLC. They don't have an EIN number. They're getting a W-9 or 1099, one of those. Operate under your EIN number. Have a business bank account and then pay yourself from it. I was visiting my parents the other day. And I showed my dad my company's profit loss sheet. I'm not going to say what that number is here publicly, but I was showing that to him and he was blown away. And I was showing him the difference, gross income, net income. I was showing Marnita too. I'm like, where? Where'd that money go? She's looking at how much it was. And I was showing my dad how I'm not gonna. He was like, "Oh, you're gonna get hit taxes." I said, "No, I actually got trust did my taxes for me. I actually got a tax return." Now we understand why wealthy people don't pay no taxes. I didn't. Let me shut up. I'm public right now on that. I'll say is that I paid myself from my business. I control the business, but everything's in the business name. And then I gave myself a salary from my business. Some of you guys will get to, we'll be talking more about that next year. But then on having that business, getting business funding. Now, if you get business funding, what do you do with that money when you get business funding? Do you go buy a car, buy a house, go take your vacations, go on that shopping spree you always wanted? No, you use that to make more money for you. So show you how to take the business funding, and then you decide out of the different opportunities we have to make passive income, where to put your money. Some of you want to put it all in one. Some might want to break it up into some others. So now that money is now generating you an income every single day and week and month. And then you operate off of the income that's generated, so you're never touching the capital, and that continues to grow. So we'll be focusing on that. The only part when people say, well, Brandon, what's the biggest risk? The biggest risk part of that is where you're putting that money and if that is able to produce. Now, that's the part where we can't control. We can control, like we've got this community over $300,000 so far on business funding. Now, that money is yours. What you decide to do with it and where you put it, that's up to you and how that works. So that's the biggest risk factor at that point. Where you put it, will it perform there? How long will it take for it to perform? Will it be better put somewhere else? And you making those decisions. So your day-to-day job now is managing your money. Who would like to have that problem? My only job is managing my money. That's your job. And sometimes you're going to manage it well, and sometimes you're not. Some things are going to work, some are not. And being able to maneuver based on that. Managing your money, that's your job. Who are your employees? Your money. So that is what ILCA is getting prepared for. We have a call we do almost every Thursday. We call it the River of Money, where we go over our opportunities, and they are private. The only way you can be a part of the ILCA opportunities through us is you've got to be in the inner circle. The inner circle is $99 a month, and that is a steal based from what you're getting from us. You're getting complete education, me almost every day, and my time is valuable. I don't have a lot of time, but you're getting me almost every day, live and in color. You're getting access to opportunities, private trainings, private coaching, VIP access to our 5-day challenge. Now, does that mean that everybody in the opportunities need to be in the inner circle? No, if you guys wanted to share with others, you possibly can. They just aren't in our community. So to get what we're offering, they got to be in the inner circle. The next thing that we have is launching our coaching academy, where we're going to be talking about mindset. Mindset. So I know that you want to make money, but we're going to teach you how to switch your mindset from the 9 to 5 employee mindset to the business owner, how you can earn capital gains instead of earned income, and the difference, the switch. Unless you have that switch, it doesn't matter what you do, you're going to fail. I know people that have been in the worst companies possible making millions of dollars, and people in the best companies out there and still broke. Until you're able to flip the switch here, nothing you do is going to work. It is like I got a video, and I got to send that over to you, Marnita. Maybe we'll put that video up for free as well. I call it the cup of water. So let's say you've got 2 cups. Oh, I have it right in front of me. This one's a little bit bigger than this one. Looks almost the same thing, but this one's bigger. This person is the 9 to 5er mindset. This person is the business owner mindset. Both of them are praying for a better opportunity. Lord, please grant me a better opportunity. I deserve it. I'm your faithful servant. And the prayer is answered. Both cups start getting poured with water. The same source. Which cup fills up first? The blue one, the smaller one. And then the red cup fills up. But from the standpoint on the table, the person in the blue cup is saying, hey, that red cup person's making more money than me. What's going on? How come I prayed for more and I'm only getting a little bit? I don't understand. Because your cup can only hold so much and it's overflowing. Water's still being poured in it. Your cup just can't hold it. The person with the bigger cup is able to hold more of the water. The goal is to get a bigger cup. How? Is this. This. is your cup. Now, it may always stay the same size physically, but mentally, it could be this small or it could be this small. There's no limit. It's only as big as where you are. So your reason why you, well, there's an old saying I used to say, I haven't said it in a long time. I hope I get this right. Where you are today is the sum result of every decision you've made in your life up until this point. That's a tough pill to swallow. Where you are today is the sum result of every decision you've made up until this point. And if you want something different, you need to start making different decisions and doing something different. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again, yet expecting a different result. The universe is intentional. It does what you tell it to do. So in ILCA, we're going to teach you how to have a bigger cup. Hope that makes sense. Let me give into a little sneak peek at what we go over in our crypto talk that we do every day. As you guys saw, if you were looking at us for the first time on Wednesday, no, wait, what I do this? Yeah, the e-estate training that we cover. I everything that I cover, I do live. I don't do this for the clicks. I am learning out in the open. So when I have my aha moments, you guys are right there to see me having an aha moment, and I have them all the time. So we do crypto talk every morning, Monday through Thursday, where we want to see what's going on out there in the world. Because what's going on out there is going to directly impact what we're doing. Here's another way, and I'm going to have a lesson that covers this before I share screen. And I used to say this to Marnita all the time before her to get this as an educator. When you look at water that's calm and it's not moving at all, when you drop one drop in it, it disperses the water around it and a ripple starts taking effect. And an object on the other side of the river or the water or the ocean will be impacted and feel that ripple that you started way over here that they don't even see line of sight. But they're being impacted by what you did way over here. So in your life, and I did maybe it was about 2 months ago, I was sharing with Marnita too. I said, sometimes I go into um what's the word I want to use? Autopilot. Sometimes I go into autopilot. And when I'm in autopilot, everything is just happening naturally. I don't have to think about it. It's just doing it. And everything, is mainly the same. Nothing's happening. But then the moment I step out of my own autopilot and I start doing things that I normally don't do, I'm shaking up the water. And then things are start happening. Things happening. It's weird. And we tested this. It happens. Sometimes you got to get out of your comfort zone. The quantum entanglement. That's correct. And so we are going to, when I do crypto talk, I am seeing what else is happening in the world that is causing ripples that is going to directly or indirectly impact us. It's not about politics. It's not about religion or what I believe to be true and any of that. None of that matters. What matters is how is one action going to impact me and how am I going to react to that action and how is it going to impact others? So we cover everything that's going on out there in the world, especially outside of our own bubble. And I will be, again, when I do the River of Money, not the River of Money talk, the secret talk, I'll talk about my aha moment when I realized it and how it worked for me. Marnita, didn't we just prove this, what, 2 weeks ago? This just happened to me again, where I implemented the law of the universe. I called on it. And next thing you know, I had an extra eight grand in my bank account. Go ahead, Marnita.
Okay, normally I don't like to interrupt you, especially when we're in class time, but family, I have to say, I am a witness. Okay, I have been Mr. Ivey's protege for the last 5 years. And when this man tells you about the power of manifestation, when he tells you about the power of a mindset shift and what it does, I have witnessed time and time again. There's been times where Brandon said, "You know what, Marnita? We need $10,000. We got to make this happen." And I'm like, "Okay, B, yeah, we can make it happen, whatever." But then like a week later, we would get 15 out of nowhere or close a deal. So when he talks about this, please pay attention because as a witness, I've seen it happen for him and for others around him.
Thank you, Miss Cuss. I think the first time that really kind of scared her, it was years ago where I was trying to teach this to her, and I don't know if she was really getting it or not. And I let her be on a call with me. And when the call was over, she said, "Wait a minute, did you just make $20,000 on that phone call?" And I said, "Yes." Yeah. Wait, weren't you just saying the other day about this? I said, "Yeah." She said, "But you're not excited or nothing?" I said, "Because I expected it. I didn't know where it was going to come from. I didn't know how it was going to happen. And when it did, wait, hold on, he's blowing me up. Hey, Peter, I'm right in the middle of crypto talk, so I'll hit you up right after this is done. Yeah, give me about 15 minutes. All right. Yeah, when he blows me up 3 times in a row, I'm like, what's going on? All right. So that, and then it happened again this month. Again, actually twice, once at the end of last month and this month, where I had no idea where it's going to happen. The whole estate, I said no to it for 4 months. Yeah, they approached me right when they launched, and I said no. It wasn't on my radar screen. And the only reason why I said yes was because of the whole, we kept seeing in crypto talk, like I'm about to do right now, we kept seeing one word kept popping up over and over and over and over again. Somebody type in the chat box what that word is. I mean, it was relentless. It's like if you ever guys watched Final Destination, and the whole thing is about them seeing the clues, and the clues kept popping up. That's kind of what was happening. Tokenization. Now, I wrote the course on tokenization 2 years ago, but it kept popping up. And then at the same time, the creator of the estate contacted me and said, "Hey, Brandon, I want to do a partnership with you." Now he's talking the right language. So that's how that happened. The timing was right. Might not have been right 4 months previously, but it was right now. But I was open. I didn't just automatically shut things off. Just because, guys, I say no to everything doesn't mean I'm not paying attention. Sometimes you have to say no to great opportunities. Yeah. Sometimes you have to say no to great opportunities. And sometimes I say no because it is not a great opportunity. I'm just not going to put you on blast. All right. And sometimes you guys should pay attention to how I move. If I don't move on something, there may be a reason why. Even though I keep it real, I don't go out of my way to blast something either, to take the opportunity away from somebody else. Because just because it's not good for me doesn't mean it's not going to be good for somebody else. So I may politely decline without saying, man, this is the biggest scam the world has ever seen. I'm not going to do that, because I could be wrong. It's just for me, I don't know. But if you don't see me move on something and you see everybody else is, in the back of your mind, you might think, why? Why didn't Brandon move on that? And then you always realize it later why I didn't when you see something go down. All right. So, what do we cover? And this is going to be short. We look at geopolitics, not because I want to prove I'm right or wrong about something, but because we need to know what's going on in the world. You can't live in the world with your head in the sand. You will always be a victim. U.S. conducts strike in Syria in response to attack that killed two American soldiers. First question I had was, I didn't know we had soldiers in Syria. Why did we have soldiers in Syria in the first place? That's something else. Florida immigrant parents surrendered custody of kids amid deportation fears. Wow. Three officers wounded, suspect killed, and another man wounded after New York domestic dispute call. Three officers wounded. How sewage can be used to heat and cool buildings? Well, that would be interesting. And I think they're good. That's also going to use that for space voyage. Judge orders special elections for Mississippi Supreme Court after Voting Rights Act violation. In Antarctica, photos show a remote area teeming with life amid growing risks from climate change. Luigi Mangioni's lawyers say Bondi's death penalty decision was tainted by conflict of interest. This dude may end up walking some kind of way or having a much reduced sentence. They messed this whole thing up. Plus, all the women think that he's, you know, you know. Private donors pledge $1 billion for CERN's future collider. GOP rep Elise Stefanik drops out of New York governor's race. Justice Department begins releasing long-awaited files tied to Epstein. Oh, yes. I think on Crypto Talk on Thursday, what did I say, guys? They ain't releasing the doggone files. But now they backed themselves into a wall because it is now law that they had to, and they had to do it by yesterday. So not only did they not release all the files, the ones that they did release were either already public knowledge or not just heavily redacted, totally redacted, unless there was a Democrat somewhere in there, like Bill Clinton. I saw a picture of Michael Jackson. Really? CJ, what's up? Hey, I better not see a photo of you over there with Epstein too. So those of you guys don't know, CJ is Michael Jackson's cousin. But you got Michael Jackson, you got uh oh, what's that little guy's name? I'm looking right at his face. But you got Clinton, and of course they want to have that. No surprise, no Republicans, huh? No Trump anywhere, right? Problem. People are going to go to jail. And it ain't gonna be Trump. He got himself positioned to have ultimate immunity no matter what. So we got a big problem here. We have one party. I can't say the whole party because there's a revolt going on. The top leadership is openly and defiantly breaking the law to cover up for freaking pedophiles. These powerful men, I don't care if they're a Democrat, Republican, or what. Bill Clinton, throw his ass under the jail. I don't care who you are. That's not a line you cross. And they're covering up for pedophiles. And they're acting as if the victims, it's not the young children. No, 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 no. The victims that they need to protect are the men whose names are on that report that are some of the most powerful people in the world. They're the victims that the White House is protecting. It's gotta be it's gotta be so far worse than any of us even know for them to go this length to openly, defiantly break the law and do everything in power, even shut down the government, even go to war, not to release these freaking files. If you got to burn the house down, burn the freaking house down and start over. Anyways, that I will share public feelings on. I don't mess with. There's a couple of things I don't negotiate with. Racism, pedophilia, really? All right, anyways. Syria here, let's see. Armed conflict with Venezuela would be humanitarian. That's what the right is saying? And I am ashamed to say I have not spent a lot of time on jumping in what's going on inside of Venezuela and why Trump is hell bent on, outside of knowing that it's about the oil. But I don't know. I need to know about the internal politics of Venezuela because Maduro is not Trump's guy. Trump was backing the other guy. But that's what the right is covering. The left is covering Northern California city to reform police after racist text scandal. Racism is something else I don't compromise on, and I don't care who's offended because I live it. But the one thing that does need to be dismantled is not trying to go after every racist individual. It's the institutional racism that needs to be dismantled. And it impacts everybody. Those who benefit from it and those who do not benefit from it are both being impacted by it. And to act as if it doesn't exist is a slap in every American's face that doesn't, that's a different color than you because we live it. All right. How is this news today impacting the markets? Let's see. Okay, US market ended the Dow up, S&P and Nasdaq is up. Europe, all in the green. Asia, mostly all in the green. Okay. Crypto market. Oh, I did not do this crypto talk last Saturday. So we're 2 weeks behind on the public. So it's been 2 weeks since I've been public doing this. Okay. Bitcoin is at 88,000. We got to look from week to week then. Ethereum is below 3,000. BNB up 0.5%. Tron, so the last 20, well, let's go by week. Bitcoin is down 2.2%, Ethereum 4.3, BNB 5.1. So Tron went the other way, 2.9% in the green. Bitcoin Cash is up 3.1. Monero is up 9%. Wow, so that one bucked it, but then Leo went down 12. Hype's down 15. All right, so best performers over the past week. Oh, uh-oh. I think I'm in profit. Diamond members. What was the price I bought this at? 0.069, I think it was. Or was it 0.067? No, I'm not do that. I think it was 0.069. I got that at. So we're at 0.074. All right. Let's see what this is on Monday. 53.5% up. Canton, 35.5%. See, this is another reason why it pays to be in the inner circle. We be finding tokens before most people do, and we're able to take positions. We find opportunities, like the 4 or 5 pre-launches that of tokens that's coming out that we're in right now. Janelle's all up on midnight. Janelle always be finding. She sees some stuff before I do. Uniswap, Monero, Sky, Bitcoin Cash, Rain, Tron, Zcash, Pi. Okay. Worst performers, Pump, Aster, M. Think of these positions I have on my Kraken account. Hype, Ethena, Ondo, WorldCoin, Leo, Shiba. Polkadot, Arbitrum, Cosmos Hub, Cardano, Sui, Mantle, Chainlinks. Also, one of the older tokens are all had a bad day. All right, trending Pingu and Canton. MoveQuest token. What is that this morning? $10, down 3.2%. Then the liquidity is still dropping. I think you're gonna have to add liquidity to this sooner than you think if this thing keeps dropping. And anything major? No. This market is still being moved by the traders right now than anything else. All right, some of the news. Galaxy predicts stablecoins will overtake ACH transaction volume in 2026. Galaxy predicts stablecoins will overtake ACH. In its annual predictions report, Galaxy's analyst said on-chain dollar transfers could process more volume next year than the US bank system that handles payroll and bill payments. How many people will be impacted by that? I don't know, everybody. When I say blockchain technology is going to disrupt every single industry on the planet, and it doesn't matter what you think about it, you will be participating. On-chain dollar transfer, that means digital transactions, stable coins. We asked our tax expert, Avery, about stable coins, and he gave you guys a good breakdown. He said the same thing I've been saying on what's going to be happening in 2026, how huge the stablecoin market is going to be, how necessary and important it's going to be. Most people don't even know what that means as a stablecoin. Stablecoin transactions already eclipse major credit card networks such as Visa and now process roughly half the transaction volume of the automated clearinghouse system. Already half. Stablecoin supply has continued to grow at a 30 to 40% compound annual growth rate, with transaction volumes rising alongside issuance. Galaxy also cited the expected implementation of definitions under the Genius Act in early 2026 as a factor supporting further growth in the stablecoin usage. Dollar pegged stablecoin market expands. Yeah, we already knew that. On Thursday, SoFi Technologies launched. Here's another stablecoin that just got launched. SoFi USD, a fully reserved US dollar stablecoin issued by its banking subsidiary, SoFi Bank. The company said the token will debut on the Ethereum blockchain and is designed to support low-cost settlement for banks, fintechs, and enterprise platforms. Mm. TikTok. TikTok becomes American and Bitcoin. TikTok becomes American and Bitcoin and stocks are loving it? I don't understand that. TikTok becomes American. Okay. And Bitcoin and stocks are loving it. The cryptocurrency had recently stalled, but news of a TikTok US joint venture buoyed equity markets and perhaps boosted Bitcoin as well. Why? More than 2 billion users have now downloaded what was once an obscure Chinese short-form video sharing app, an impressive number that likely saved the app from being banned in America. TikTok, which has already been prohibited from operating in Canada and was temporarily banned in the US over national security concerns, will now continue its American operations via a joint venture with Oracle and other firms. Okay. The app is a Gen Z staple. Yeah, we already know what the app does. All organizations and citizens shall support, assist, and cooperate with national intelligence efforts in accordance with the law and shall protect national intelligence work secrets that they are aware of. Okay. They say it will be trained on US data. Okay. So this is TikTok wait, what? TikTok USDS will create and train a new algorithm to ensure American content is free from outside manipulation. So they're going to be using some AI to do this. Great, but has the algorithm been transferred, licensed, or is it still owned and controlled by Beijing, with Oracle merely providing monitoring? Yeah, so what's the answer to that question? There is no answer. Total Bitcoin futures open interest jumped. Yeah, because of TikTok, though? I don't know about that. Markets rallied after TikTok announced a U.S. joint venture, easing regulatory fears and boosting risk on sentiment. Is TikTok going to be, are they going to have their own? Is there a TikTok token? I don't think so. Interesting. All right. Last topic, then I got to run. Samurai co-founder claims Biden era lawfare in calling for Trump pardon. Keon Rod also there was this another criminal that wants Trump to pardon him. Keon Rodriguez said on social media that he will report to prison on Friday to begin his 5-year sentence for operating an illegal money transmitter. He was guilty to one felony count related to his role at Samurai Wallet. Is calling on President Donald Trump to pardon him. Well, you got $1 billion, buddy, to pay Trump? Yeah, he's got a rate. Rodriguez said he would report to prison on Friday. He claimed that there were no victims to his crime, and he blamed his incarceration on lawfare perpetrated by a weaponized Biden DOJ. So he's using all the right language to get Trump's attention. In a mess, and he tagged Trump. The U.S. president would issue a federal pardon for him and William Bill, another samurai executive who pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 4 years. Rodriguez blamed activist judges. Wait, but let's back up. Let's back up because he's playing politics here. Pleaded guilty. You're not denying that you did it. You pleaded guilty. You're guilty of the crime. But activist judges for his legal troubles, claiming he was targeted by a political anti-innovation agenda. So they're saying it's not that we're innocent, it's that the only reason why we were targeted is because it was political motivation. That if there was no political motivation, they probably wouldn't have even looked at us. And that could be true. You're still guilty. I maintain hope that Trump is a fair man. All right, let me stop. Let me stop. A man of the people who who will see this prosecution for what it was, an anti-innovation, anti-American attack on the rights and liberties of free people. I believe his team and others truly want to end the weaponization of the DO. You said with a straight face that Trump wants to end the weaponization of the DOJ. I'm sorry. Have the Epstein files been released that the previous administration wielded so effectively? I believe he will continue to wield that power for good, and pardon me and Bill. I swear I'm living in a twilight zone. Rodriguez's public plea followed Trump's statement that he would take a look. Really? So Trump responded to this. He's going to get pardoned. So behind the scenes, lawyers are talking. He better be ready to pay up some a lot of money, but he's about to get pardoned. It's unclear whether Rodriguez filed an official application for a pardon or is relying on public statements to get the president's attention. Uh, yeah, okay. All right, that is it for our presentation and crypto talk for today. I hope you guys learned something new and have an insight into what ILCA is all about and what we're getting ready for 2026. We have our next inner circle talk will be Monday. So if you want to get the real scoop on how we do things, join the inner circle members.myilca. I'm sorry. Yeah, members.myilca.com. Members.myilca.com. Is it members or membership? Hold on, let me look at this. Yeah, members dot my ILC membership. I was wrong. Membership dot my ILCA.com. We got we got a lot of new links that's going to be coming out, so I can get myself confused. Marnita puts me on track. Okay, when am I doing the secret call? I am looking at doing that a week from tomorrow on December 28th. So December 28th, and I'll probably be doing that at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, and I'll put out the link and everything for that. Actually, it will be on this link, ILCA presentation. So, and I will be streaming that live also. I only do this once a year. This year is going to be have a different spin on it because I'm a year older. I have more experiences, more examples of it working for me. So yeah, we'll be doing that a week from tomorrow. Inner Circle Talk Monday. And the last e-estate training that I will do will be on Christmas Eve on Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern, and we'll be going over what is a blockchain, tokenization, and fractional ownership. We'll be talking about that next Wednesday. So with that, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you guys Monday morning in the Inner Circle. Brandon Ivey out. Bye-bye.